Okay, so again, very interesting feeding route. Not even going to the caves. It can be hit or miss because if you go this way, you might not have enough food to evolve down here, which means you can't evolve till back here, which means that they're able to cut you off down in this bottom part of the map. Yeah, very, very unusual feeding routes. Making a beeline towards the beach. But once you get to the beach, and they have a good chance of being able to cut you off. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this is like an ideal feeding route. You definitely kind of need to dip into here and then go over here to get enough to evolve over here. Otherwise, they're just going to be able to find you and corner you. Really big aggression here by Kenny. The rest of the team should be catching up pretty soon. Goliath could probably almost kill Kenny right by himself right here. Because he's all by himself and the medic is way far away. Nice orbital. Okay, so now, against a Goliath, you want to go from high ground to high ground. So you basically want to wait for the monster out here on this ledge, and this ledge. Put a beacon on all three and camp that area. But don't group up. Again, medic should be in the back. Medic should be in the back. Because otherwise the medic's just going to get focused. Nice harpoon by Griffin. Nice. Really good job by Kenny. Kenny doing a really solid job of harpooning. But yeah, you want to go from high ground to high ground as much as you can. Get some more beacons up. I don't see any healing buoys anywhere. So monster going to take permanent health damage. Half a bar gone on now. It looks like he might... Nope. Looks like he's still trying to focus. So really good focus on Widow. Unfortunately, this is just kind of a bad dome area. And you're... Now let's see the chase damage. Come on, Griffin. No harpoons and no slows. That's unfortunate. I feel like that should have been taking a little bit more damage from that.
Well done.
True bash.
Really good job by the hunters. And now the monster's not ready to evolve. That means that if he doesn't avoid the hunters very well, they could easily dome him right after or shortly before stay evolving. Now they can't dome you, so there's no, like, you can just run past them. Oh, Kenny all by himself. Oh, there's charge. Oh, Kenny's going to go to... Oh, no. If you didn't pounce, you might have been able to down Kenny there. Nice attempt at the harpoon. And monster running away. Not seeing bullets being sprayed. As an Electro Griffin, yeah, there's never any reason not to shoot. You have Stormtrooper accuracy, but it does not slow you down.
I'll follow him.
Yep, and so now the dome is ready, which means the hunters, Kenny, just make sure you don't get, don't chase the damage, don't chase the damage.
Drop it.
I don't think.
Oh, yeah, oh, come on. Nice. Throw the dome. Good job. Okay, Kenny's in an awkward position. But it looks like the monster is going to run away. Can't eat anything. Does it loop all the way through? It does. So at this point, no. Kenny, don't get out of position. Just wait for the monster. Ah, Kenny. Kenny is so lucky. Kenny should have been exploded. That was really, really bad misplay by Kenny. He was super, super aggressive. Still might end up going down, but that really cost this hunter team. Yep. That's what cost this dome, was the Trapper. There's no reason for the Trapper to go out. The monster had full armor anyway, so the tiny bit of damage you would do is insignificant compared to forcing your entire team to come bail you out in case you get Pounced or attacked. But yeah, that was all on the Trapper. Hunter or Monster doing a little bit of extra damage, trying to go after support now. Oh, there's the rock throw. Might end up trying to go for the support, but is he going to stay? Nope, he's just going to leave. Nope. Oh, you should take your strike and leave. So right now this is extra damage. I guess he's going to get the strike. Yep, fair enough. That was really risky. If the medic was on point, that would have been an extra bar and a half of damage, and they would not, and the monster would not have gotten the strike. So you always need to be very careful about going back and overcommitting. It's just that the hunters just didn't capitalize on it there, but that was definitely, I think, that was a misplay. Spray that fire everywhere. So 2 strikes, 3 bars of health. Right now the advantage is definitely on the monster. So they should all be cutting off this way or that way. I don't think I heard anyone call that out either. But it might have just... Oh, I think it was just a Blitz Leopard. I don't think it was a plant. Never mind. Blitz Leopards you don't have to call out because you just kick them off. They're like tackling Reavers. So Monster are about ready to evolve to Stage 3. Against this team, going to Stage 3 is perfectly fine. There's no reason not to because they don't have a lot of deployables. Fire, interesting. I think that I'd rather have a third point in charge or something else. I'd never do more than 2 in Fire Breath, especially against a non-deployable team. Like I might do, like I usually only keep 1, to be honest. And here we go. Here's the charge. So I like that they're holding the dome. That's always good. A lot of fire going everywhere, trying to kill some. Oh. Orbital right in the face. Looks like he's trying to focus on support. No, going after medic. I think support's well, no, because the fire breath is no, I think Emmett's still the correct choice. So unfortunately, Emmett's just getting ragdolled over here. So against Goliath, the 2 things you want to avoid are the rock throws and big smashes. Fire Breath, you're not going to escape out of, and Charge is usually done point blank, so that's not going to work either. Really good harpoons, once again, by Griffin, and doing a good job. This is called roaching, going up and down on a vertical surface over and over again is a very big weakness against Goliath. Goliath can't do too much about it. Oh, but if he gets charged, oh no, out of line of sight, oh, Wither's going to die. Where's the support? Yeah, so that's one thing you have to be careful of, yep. And that was 100% because he lost line of sight. Should have just kept on, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Should have just kept going up and down over in this area. Man, that harpoon damage is real. Against Electro Griffin, you can't just ignore the harpoon in combat. You have to be really, really careful with it. Still one more healing buoy up. Might be able to actually pull us out. Wow, Hunters are doing a really good job. Right now, the monster probably should have just forced the dome to come down and then finish going after support. But still got healing buoy still up, doing a really good job healing. But now the monster's going to be getting, yeah. I would have gotten the strike and then gotten out, or forced them to throw the dome down. Way overcommitting right now, in my opinion. But there's nothing he can do, so... Because at this point, even if they do dome, he's going to die before it comes down. Ends up getting the strike. Now you can go ahead and get away, get away, get away. You have 10 seconds. Oh. Very big over. Bloodthirsty. Blood rage. Blood rage really quick. But yeah, I definitely think that what you could have done is probably gone after Widu and try and charge him off. Up there, the zone comes down. Yeah, that's going to be GG. Good job on the hunters. I really thought that the monster had this pretty much in the bag.
GG.
GG.
Good game, good game.
So with Monster, you had a very unusual feeding route again. You wouldn't have had enough food to evolve by the time you leave the beach, and going to the beach is kind of a death sentence because you're always going to go ahead and get domed, most likely in that area. Granted, Goliath doesn't actually do too bad in combat around the beach area, but always want to make sure you have enough food that you can evolve in an area that you don't mind getting domed in and things like that. But if you get domed and you're not evolve ready after that dome comes down, there's a good chance that they're going to be able to catch up to you and dome you either right before or immediately after you evolve. So just be very careful. Probably work on a little bit of a different feeding route because I wasn't the biggest fan of it. It didn't seem like it was really helping out too much, and they knew pretty much where you were from the get-go. That being the case, though, really, really good job at focusing a lot more. Widow was just doing an amazing job. Support and medic working really, really well together. You worked very well at the very end when you kept on going up, down, up and down. And then, but once the monster got you away from that area and you went and broke line of sight, that's why you got down, because you immediately lost line of sight from your support, which means everyone had to reposition themselves to come save you, and then they lost of that. But really good job with shielding with Hank. The two of you were doing a really good job when you had line of sight and you were focusing on each other. So really good job there. Good harpoons by Electro Griffin. Electro Griffin's harpoons really have to be destroyed because they do a lot of damage. They might not seem like even if you're focusing and hitting people, you still kind of need to destroy those things because the damage that it does is it stacks up really, really, really fast. But no, otherwise, good job. You were doing a lot better with focusing. I felt like that you probably could have gotten one more engagement out of stage 2. Yeah, that's how I always feel. Like, whenever there's a harpoon on Electro Griffin and you don't notice it, especially if there's a Blitz Markov behind you, because you don't think that you're harpoon because you see lightning. So that's actually that's a really high-level tactic, in my opinion, is to have Blitz Markov and Griffin next to each other when they're trying to shoot people, because the monster's not really going to go after the trapper and or support or assault. And if you're both shooting from behind, he's going to see the lightning from Blitz Markov, but not necessarily the harpoon, which is a nice, dirty little secret to do. But either of the Markovs work that way. Even better, those Blitz Markov, because the gold matches up is the hardest one to see out of because of how big it is. That being said, yeah, I didn't notice too much. He didn't really engage you all that often, so I don't really have anything to comment about that. I did like that the healing buoys were spread out a lot more. I do feel that Stage 3, evolving to Stage 3 is kind of a win more button. I feel like that you probably could have gotten one more engagement at Stage 2 of your choice, and then gotten a perk. But you did overcommit at the end for the one strike. I would have probably got the one strike and then head out, or at least force the dome, making it look like I was going to head out. But that was a huge overcommitment at the end. And then once you got down to 4 or 5 bars of health, even if you did get domed, chances are you weren't going to get any more strikes. Yeah, you tunneled very, very hard. The hard thing about Stage 3s is that the hunters have a huge advantage in that they can fight at their choosing, and so basically at that point it's basically manipulating the dropship to kill them all within one round of dropships. And so what you do is you start building up. You go in, you get a strike, you get out. You go in, get a strike, you get out. You pause the timer enough that you can go out, armor up, and then come back in. But that's how you whittle down until you have a couple people at 2 strikes, because once you get the second strike down, then you don't have to worry about them. They're going to go immediately to the dropship, and that's when you go and try and go in for the win. But before those strikes get accrued, it's really hard to kind of down everybody at once. But really close game. Really good job. For the most part, I agree. But I think I like the orbital on Tech Hank way better, and Tech Hank works better in Stage 1 fights. He's not very good at Stage 3. Stage 3's regular Hank's a bit better.
Anything on Hank in the meantime?
Just really good job positioning yourself. That you had line of sight. Anytime somebody was wounded, if they come back to you, that's more important. You shouldn't chase people around, because then that uses up your fuel, and then you become lunch for the monster. But no, the medic and support, everyone was really on ball. I probably wouldn't mind have seen a few more mines, especially around the heavy traffic areas and things like that. But that's like, you know, kind of nitpicking at this point. But no, good job. Okay, that was 3 games. Yeah, 3 games. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and do one more rotation.